Hi, I'm Laurie Brown. I thought this trip was going to be all about water. We are WaterAfrica after all. But of course, as pretty much any trip you've ever been on, it's about so much more. You've heard about several places that we went on this trip. And as you probably noticed, they're in various different stages of development. Endless's village is sort of on the beginning end. Their village just got clean water, so they're just in that first step. But then some of the other places we visited in Lumbo or Zambia, they're already turning that water and improved sanitation into great rewards. I mean, they're already growing gardens and food security and even additional income for their families. What you might not know is that took several years. In fact, in some cases, many years. It takes quite a long time to make that transformation. Well, I'm going to tell you about another ADP. It's called Hamaundu. You can see it there on one of the paper arrows. Hamaundu is on the very beginning. World Vision has been evaluating and working with different villages in Hamaundu for the last 1.5 to 2 years or so, trying to evaluate their needs and figure out what they need for each village and to make sure that they're on board. And in fact, this very month, they are breaking ground on the first projects there. And we at WaterAfrica are hoping to be walking right alongside with them as they make this big climb out of poverty. So we're really interested in Hamaundu, and we hope you are too. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about this ADP. Let's see, it has a population of about 35,000 people, 5,800 households. People are really spread out in Hamaundu and, in fact, in most of these ADPs. They don't live in large population groups. They live in very small villages, maybe 6 to 8, 10 households in a village. And this does complicate the job of providing clean water. It's difficult to locate these boreholes or whatever the method would be so that it can serve sufficient people. A borehole would typically serve 250 to 350 people. Right now, World Vision estimates that in Hamaundu alone, in that ADP, 65 clean water sources are needed. So I figure WaterAfrica has plenty of work to do here. We visited 2 villages in Hamaundu. The first was Jembo School, which you just heard, well, you heard about their latrines at least. And it's a very interesting site, although in some ways not typical of a place where World Vision would work. Jembo School has this very large school, the basic school with 660 kids, and the high school has 550 kids. So this is the size of fellow high school here. And in addition, there's also a clinic there, and there's also a small seminary, and there's a local church. And we had the privilege, since we were there on a Sunday, of attending church at this beautiful little church. This is not, I will warn you, a typical church for a village in Zambia. It's quite a bit more of a building than normal. However, you will get a chance to see another church later. So you'll get to hear, I think, the most impressive. I mean, for one thing, the service went on for a good 2 hours. And the most amazing music. The walls could just be blown off the church with the music there. So. And this village really provided me with one of my favorite memories of the whole trip. We approached this village on foot because the 4-wheel drives decrepit as they were, did have to stop at some point, and we went down a path, down a long hill, and we could hear singing in the distance. And it got louder and louder as we got closer. And we finally came around a bend, and the whole village was assembled in front of us in their finest clothes, and they were singing and dancing to greet us. It was just an amazing experience. And even though that was repeated in just about every village we visited, I just don't think it ever failed to bring joy. Just set my feet dancing every time. So luckily, we then, from there, we assembled, they took us to their church, and you will see this in the videos, which is a more indicative church for a village. It's open-sided and grass-roofed, and we were sitting on very, very low little benches. Remember that. And we talked to some of the women, or some of them would talk to us about their walk. And then we, as a team, walked with them to their waterfall. So we actually made the walk downhill, over the stile, through the little fence. They had made a great effort to keep the cattle and the pigs and whatnot out of their waterhole. However, it was very clear that they were not always successful. And in any case, the livestock pretty much grazed on the hill right above the waterhole, which was very muddy. So I don't think this is water you would want to drink, and I think you'll see that. The thing I will remember about Chicago and the other villages is the incredible joy that you find in these places with people, particularly I think with people who have so little. And I can honestly say I don't know if I've ever seen that much joy here. So if you ever get a chance, I mean, travel opens your mind no matter where you go, but if you ever get a chance to go to a place like this, whether it be Zambia or Peru or Mexico or wherever, I really suggest you take it. Because as you've heard from everybody else, you will come back changed. So, this is Chicago.
Zobambelela usomandla ngoba nguye umdali wento zonke. Zobambelela usomandla ngoba nguye umdali wento zonke. Amen. Zobambelela usomandla ngoba nguye umdali wento zonke. Zobambelela usomandla ngoba nguye umdali wento zonke. Ngizozifihla kusomandla ngoba nguye lothando lonke. Ngizozifihla kusomandla ngoba nguye lothando lonke.
This is called Chikabwa Village.
Chikabwa Village.
Yes.
And this is your water source for Chikabwa Village?
This is our water source, and we have many other sources like this one.
So there are other ones that are similar.
Yes.
Is the water in the other ones about the same, or is it better?
No, it's about the same. It's the same because we're using the same stream.
And is it like this pretty much all year long?
It is, yes. Sometimes it goes down around September, October. It goes down.
Uthando lakhe lujulile luna kalupheli loluthando lona kalupheli wona lumnandi. Uthando lwakhe lujulile luna kalupheli iyamdumisa usomandla wona lumnandi. Uthando lwakhe